Welcome back. And with the SMC coming up soon in the UK, I thought I'd look at some SMC practice questions. Quite a nice, different set of questions this week. So we're going to look at a few number ones, some angle ones, some area ones, etc. So different types of questions we'll do. Senior math challenger are taken by 16, 17, 18-year-olds in the UK. The questions definitely become quite difficult. These are late paper questions, so not right at the end, but questions nearer the end of the paper, and I'll do some harder questions next week. So we've done a few of the different types. This one, not terrible. Think about what you've got. All the information is there, and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so how did we do? So first of all, it's one of these questions, I mean, maybe you didn't, but I definitely had to read it twice, so what's going on? So we are pairing numbers that I don't know, but we do know they're positive integers, Q, R, and S, in three different pairs. So Q and R, Q and S, and R and S. And what we do know is the highest common factor of those three pairs are different primes. So why don't we just start with Q and R and say that's the lowest prime. Now again, I jumped over it, but it's really important. I'm ultimately looking for the smallest possible number. So I'm going to be looking for smallest numbers all the way. So I've used 2 because the other thing about this is they need to be different primes. Otherwise I will just choose 2, 2 and 2. So the next pair I'm going to look at is R and S, and the next prime up is 3. Similarly, the next pair I have is Q and S, and the next prime up is 5. So I've got my 3 pairs. I've got the highest common factor for those 3 pairs. So if we look at, first of all, Q, well, we know Q contains a prime factor 2, and we know Q contains a prime factor 5, and if we want the smallest number, well, let's make that the only 2 factors. So therefore, Q is going to be 2 times 5, which is 10, if it is the smallest number I can make with those prime factors. Similarly with R, I've got prime factors 2 and 3, so the smallest number I can make is 3 times 2, which is 6. And with S, the smallest number I can make is 3 times 5, which is 15. If I add these numbers up, that gives me 31, and that is indeed the smallest value I can get. So as to today's question, relatively quick after last week, is just a nice straightforward B, 31. As ever, like, subscribe, any questions below, any different methods, do let me know, and I will see you for tomorrow's question. Thanks all.